mirage, the question that needs to be answered. Indeed, we have the opportunity to delve deeper into the recesses in order to answer this question. Many persons think that you're living in a marriage situation, but they are only living in the mirage of a marriage. Yes, they're probably even living into the graveyard of what they consider to be a marriage, because the expected outcomes are not what they are getting. So, we are going to help you to safeguard your relationship so that you don't have to live in a mirage, and you are equipped to select for yourself, or to be selected or elected to be selected for a marriage relationship under covenant and not under contract. So let us get into the meat of the matter of the meat that you came here to devour. And thank you for joining us once again on Wife Only with yours truly, Kareem Ainsley, the wife lifestyle strategist. Let us get in. When you buy a product, you see, what is the first thing that you always put aside? The manual. Very good. Who builds a product? The manufacturer. Very good. So, individuals, human beings, were built by the Creator. The Creator has instituted a manual or a guiding book, which is the Bible, which gives us information that leads us into understanding the gravity of each individual independently, and then understanding the individuals coming together as one in unison. And that there is the manual for marriage. So the only person that has authority to tell you how to have a successful marriage is the person who created the institution itself, which means it's not your pastor, it's not him, it's not the priest, it's not him or her, whoever it may be. It's not anyone in the world. No, it's not them. It's not the school system. No, they have failed, because most of the persons with their PhDs have failed relationships. So let us put them one side. It's not the state, because the state benefits when you have marital problems in terms of the child support. All of that taxation goes into the coffers, and litigation fees and all these kind of fees. They are the beneficiaries. So do they truly want you to have a successful relationship? That is something that you want to ponder. But one individual, one entity that I know desires for you to have a successful relationship is the Creator of the institution itself. The only reason why marriages are defined in the way that they are defined today is for the purpose of taxation. Because before, the state had nothing to do with marriage. It was because initially, especially in the United States, it was because they wanted to separate the blacks and white from intermarrying. That is why they had the marriage contract. The marriage contract prevented the black people, alleged, from marrying the white people, which is in history books, and you can read that independently for yourself. But that is not what we are here to talk about. So marriage under contract was for that reason initially, and then it moved into a financial reason over time. And you know that in marriages, it was usually a transfer of wealth or a sharing of wealth between families. And if you are not able to marry into families of wealth, you have to build the wealth up from the ground onto the level that you are desirous of being. And that may take years. So a transfer of wealth from the blacks to the white was restricted in that format. So, but that is not what we're talking about, the contractual arrangement in marriage. We are going to be talking about the covenantal arrangement of marriage. And it's not even an arrangement, it's a covenantal institution of marriage. So, in order to have the best guidance and the best direction of how to deal with this institution, we have to go back to the Word of God. Our lives are more important than any product. Hence, it is important for us to find the truth. We need to go back to the original information, back to the originator of information, which is the Bible. When you read closely, you will realize that men and women were more important than marriage. So yes, a man is more important than marriage. A woman is more important than marriage. So it's better for some individuals to live by themselves than to get married, because marriage is a sacred entity. It is a sacred institution, and it is not necessarily the best for everyone, because some persons have desires which cannot be fulfilled with marriage. And not because you're married mean that you're not going to be alone, because some persons are alone and lonely, and it's because they have not yet understood who they are, and that is the first area that needs to be worked on. Now, let us continue. However, today we will be focusing our attention on marriage in an effort to be able to decide for ourselves what is required of those who are engaging in this practice, and how to apply the knowledge which we have garnered so far. Women, you know that you are the ones that I love so much, and that is why I am speaking directly to our women at this time. Instead of being just an ordinary woman, I want you to consider yourself to be the woman that God desires for you to be, which is an extraordinary woman. Instead of being taught from the Word of God about marriage, many individuals are taught from the universities. And you realize what happened every time our daughters go to university, they come back out with some weird ideologies about what is right and what is wrong. They decide that they want to change the status quo. There is nothing wrong with changing that which is wrong, but if something is right and is fully functional and is bringing you success, why would you desire to change it? Is it to make it more successful, or is it to desecrate it? And we realize that all of these gender studies and the gender dysphorias have been damaging the sanctity of the mind of our females, which seep into the household, and then that damages the individuals within the household, especially the male child. And that is why majority of the males in today's society have been effeminized. And in such a regard, we have males who fail to matriculate into men. And then women are complaining, we can't find any man. Why? It's because of the actions that have been set up in order to eradicate men from the society. There are males in society, but where are the men? Where are the young men who will stand up for that which is right, who would put measures in place to protect the household, who will be able to indicate and lead the household in accordance to the will of God? But many individuals say they want men, but they don't want to submit to that man that they have received. So what is it that these women desire to happen? Is it that they want something but they don't really want it? I don't understand. You have to tell me. Write in the comments, write down below, write to me, and let me know, what is it that women really want? What is it that you really want, or your friends really want? So let us see if we can dissect this so as we can present some answers so that everyone can benefit from the information. Next, we have our scholars. Our scholars have come up with so many different ideologies because they have PhDs that they need to write. And in order to write your PhD, you need to present new information, new ideas. And so they create these ideas out of the air and they try to justify them. And they, instead of testing the theories, they try to impose it on the society, which creates all this dysphoria and this confusion. So as we are now in 2023 and beyond, we will have to be calling males females and females male, right being wrong and wrong being right. All of this madness taking place in plain sight. So marriage will now be unmarriage or whatever it is that they decide it to be. And I am here that marriage is now for a season and not for until anymore. So there are a lot of controversies that are taking place, but that is going to happen because when truth is mixed with error, then what abound is error. You want the truth to be unadulterated. You want it to be distilled in its purest form. And guess what? That is why we are here having this conversation together. The world is telling our women that they can be feminists and married. That's wrong. You can't be a feminist and married at the same time. If you are a feminist, it means that you don't really desire or appreciate your role as a woman to act in the capacity as a servant. I know a lot of females don't like to hear that word, but yes, a woman is supposed to be acting in the capacity as a servant or a helpmeet. Yes, when you have a helper, she is a servant to fulfill a service in the household. So the woman being in charge of the household, given charge based on what the man stipulates, is the helper. She is the helpmeet, as the Bible indicates to us. And yes, these feminists say they want a relationship, but they are not willing to submit to a man. If you don't want to submit to a man, how can the man lead? How can a woman be leading the household when the woman has no authority in leading the household? She can go out to work and lead in her workplace. Yes, there's no problem with that. But when it comes down to the household, even if the man has less education than her, she should understand that there are certain roles and responsibility and certain areas that she does not delve in. The man is supposed to be the one in a capacity of leadership. She can be the support to ensure that his leadership is reflective of what is required in order to maintain the sacredness of the household. So there are a lot of wrong things that are presenting themselves as right, taking place in society, but we're going to be scratching those all out. Then we have the world telling women that they don't have to submit to their husband. That is wrong. How can a woman decide that she wants a husband and is not willing to submit to him? Is she crazy? Are our women crazy? Wanting a husband and not willing to submit? What is the purpose of a husband if you're not willing to submit? A marriage is a selfless expression. So until you are one with yourself and you're willing to let go of your selfish desire, thinking about me, myself, and I, guess what? You're not ready for marriage. But if you are willing to let go of your selfish desire and willing to submit, to serve your husband, to be there for him when he desires you to be there for him, to be present but absent at the same time at the appropriate moments, then and only then you'll be ready to take the next step into marriage. The society, the world is telling a woman that they don't have to follow the principles of God. That is wrong. How can a woman be wearing the pants in the household? Should women even be wearing pants? That is another question that we want to be asking, but the women are wearing the pants in the household, and that is what we want to address. Why would a woman want to be the head of the household? And the Bible plainly says that a woman should not usurp their authority over their husband. The woman cannot be the head, so the principle has to be followed for a successful relationship. Have you ever seen the synergy between persons who have 60 years, 70 years, 100 years of unification of marriage together? They are always operating in synchrony. They are operating in oneness. There is little to no quarrel or squabble in the relationship. And it's because the man knows his place, the woman knows her place, and they all are going in the same direction according to the vision of the man. And that is why there's no division, because the minute you create a hole in your relationship, the devil is going to seep down, and then he's going to divide that. So you're going to have two heads, one going to the right, one going to the left, one going to the left, one going to the right. And that's how the thing is going to be. You know, but instead of having one head, you're going to have two heads. And then when we have two-headed beings, we call them dragons. We call them, yes, they are dangerous dragons. And we don't want that. That is division. So let us get it back into the meat of the matter. So if we want things to work out properly, they have to do what is right, and not only what is right, but what is also righteous. But many women don't want to do what is right and what is righteous. They don't want to have to do these things. And if they don't want to do these things, then they can't expect the results that a successful relationship has. And if you keep looking at unsuccessful people and wanting the success of unsuccessful people, then you will be getting an unsuccessful result. So you have to know who you want to study, and you have to know whose principles you want to abide by. Because a lot of persons say they want success, a lot of persons desire things that other persons have, but they are not willing to work and put the prerequisite steps in place in order to get exactly what they want. But I want to implore you, allow yourself to reach a state of humility where you will let go of your selfish thoughts, your selfish desires, and allow the Lord to lead you on the path of righteousness as you allow Him to bless you with the overflowing. As we always say, be the wife you were meant to be. Until next time, when we will continue the conversation, a marriage or a mirage. Be blessed, and don't forget to share your blessings.